Hey bold babes, welcome back to my channel. I'm Holly, as you know, or if you don't know, it's probably because I have not done a video in forever. I think it's been like 4 months. I did like my winter stuff and then I just kind of disappeared. Not totally. I've been doing blog posts and Pinterest and emails and lots of other things, and I'm grateful that even though I haven't been showing up for you on here, you have definitely been showing up for me, and I'm just so grateful for how much my business has grown in the last few months, and just grateful for you guys that you keep showing up for me. But I'm planning on trying to get back into doing them pretty regularly because I do miss doing them. They are fun, and I'm gonna act like I'm really cool and that everybody's been asking me, Holly, where are you? Where have you been? When's gonna be your next video? But literally no one has said that at all, ever. It's fine. Okay, so today's video, we are going to be doing a detailed Seint makeup tutorial. I don't know why that was not coming out more naturally. And I'm also going to be covering acne coverage. So anyway, I feel like in the past I've done a lot of like easy, quick, just, I don't know, beginner tutorials. And this is still very much a beginner tutorial, but I realized I need to do like a good like full coverage, acne coverage, and kind of offering some tips and troubleshooting along the way a little bit. So that's what's gonna happen in this video. So we're gonna be doing this look I have on. And it is still really easy and pretty quick. And so if you have your Seint makeup already, pull it out. Let's do this together. It'll be fun. And if you don't and you want to get started, then I have 2 options for you. One, you can just email me and we can chat and get you matched, or you can take my quiz down below in the description box. It's like a full makeup routine quiz. Like it covers everything. And I usually respond that same day or within 24 hours. And so click that and we'll get you started that way, or email me. Or if you're one of those people, you're like, I don't need your help, okay? I know what I want. I'm an independent woman. Then the link for that is down below as well to shop. So for this look, I'm gonna be using just this one compact, has everything I need right there, everything that's on my face, and then just these 2 brushes. So with that, let's get started. All right, so we have our compact ready to go and our brush. I'm gonna start off with the Smudge Brush. So technically this is an eyeshadow brush, but I love it for detailed like concealing work. So we're gonna do that first. I'm gonna go in with my concealing shade, which is Aura, right there. And that's the thing I wanna note really quick is the highlights are foundation. They're like everything. They can be concealer, foundation, brightening highlight. So I love that they are so versatile like that. I know it seems like a lot having 3 different highlight foundation shades here, but I will show you the magic that happens by using 3. Not everybody needs 3 shades. I'll just throw it out there. Some people can get by with just 1 if you have a very even toned face, but most people need at least 2. Right? Like we usually don't have just 1 solid color all over our face. We have like maybe some dark eyes, we have blemishes, redness, whatever it is. So yeah, it's just gonna depend what your face needs, what you need, and that's something that if you take that quiz in my bio or reach out to me, will help you get all that figured out. So I'm gonna go in with the slightly more domed side, and I'm gonna go in to that Aura. That came out kind of weird, Aura. Okay, and I'm gonna start off just by concealing any dark areas I have. I'm gonna touch up on these blemishes, and then we're gonna go in with my all over shade and then probably do even more touch up after to really make sure these monsters are concealed. I normally have a pretty clear face, but I've been really trying to get more serious with my skincare. So I've been doing, you know, some good exfoliating and whatnot, and it is just bringing all the demons out. Like, everything that was lurking under apparently is coming to the surface, and it's so fun. Anyway, back to topic. So I'm going, like I said, I'm covering all like any dark areas. So for me, that's like side of my nose gets kind of bad, the corners of my eyes, and I'm honestly not using very much. Like I'm using a very tiny amount. I'm like just kind of dabbing it in. We're gonna touch on my nose a little bit because my nose is kind of dark reddish right now. And then we're gonna touch these guys, which I'm gonna have to go back over them like with my main shade, and we'll work it all out. So the reason I don't go all over with this shade is if I put it all over my face, I look too yellow. Like it's just a tiny bit too dark for me. And so we are not going to put it all over, which is why I use 3 shades. Okay, I'm gonna get these areas on my chin a little bit. That is good for now. Okay, so next step is your all over shade, your main shade. So for me, that's White Peach right there, and it's a brand new tin. Okay, so I'm just like you. I'm digging into my brand new tin. We are doing this, and it's gonna be okay. So I am going to use a 3D brush. I alternate between brushes I use, just kind of depends. If I want just a really light, quick coverage, I use the blush bronzer brush, the smaller end. If I want like really good full coverage that is going to last all day no matter what, I use the buff brush. So I had a hard time deciding which one to use for this video, the buff brush or this, but I think I'm gonna go with this because I do love how this brush is very versatile, meaning that it can do contour, it can do blush, and then yeah, it can do a really good highlight. So it's still gonna give you pretty full coverage. It's like full medium coverage. So when you first go in, you seriously don't need very much, like just lightly. Less is more. You can always add more later, but if you put too much, that's when it tends to get kind of cakey and just seems to slide around and just not look very natural. So for this part, it's easy. We're just gonna put it all over. If you want full coverage, then we're just gonna put it all over. And we are going back over those corrections we just made. And I'll go back through with that smaller brush I just used to get like around my eyebrows and like those smaller areas. So right now we're just focusing on all the main big areas. When I get up to these guys, I'm kind of trying to just like pounce. I don't know if that's the right word. Just, you know, lightly like bounce on top of them. Okay, so like I said, for those finer areas, you can either use that smaller brush that I just used. This other end, so I was using that end. This one is kind of pointed, so that also is good for getting small little spots, or you can just use your finger. So I am just gonna go in with my finger really quick around the brows. So this is why I have people wear at least 2 shades and definitely contour, because right now I'm looking very flat. I'm looking one-dimensional. There's just not really like anything interesting going on right now. I've kind of taken out all the pretty natural features of my face kind of. So this is why we are going to put on some contour, some blush lip, and that third color I'm gonna use for brightening. So I'm gonna wait and do the brightening a little bit later. We're gonna move on to contour now. So I'm gonna stick with the same brush and use this pointed side. And again, really, really lightly. I almost always, whether I'm doing highlight or contour or even blush, I hardly ever just like swipe in the product because I feel like you just get way too much and like a lot of it gets stuck in your brush. And so a lot of times I just kind of tap it in like that. Okay, so for contour, I'm gonna find my cheekbone and put it right alongside it or even just a little bit above it, just to really accent those cheekbones. And then as you saw, I flipped it over, because this just really helps like blur those edges and just blend it out. And the contour I'm using, the shade is Ash. I feel like Ash is such a great contour shade. It's good for a lot of different skin tones, but especially fair skin tones. Like if you've tried other contours and you're like, oh, I just look like I have an orange stripe, or it just looks too warm. It's a cool tone contour, so it's really good for fair skin tones. And then, yeah, I am just putting it up on my forehead a little bit, add some color and dimension. Okay, and you can see the magic of contour. Look how much it already has added dimension to my face. I don't look so like flat anymore. But we're gonna take it one step further and add some color back in. So we've added some dimension, some pretty natural shadows. We've made those cheekbones pop because they're sexy. So we're gonna add in some color, like I just said. So There are tons of different blush and lip colors. Yes, they are for cheeks and lips, these things. Whoa, there's my camera. Hello. So there's tons of different colors. These two I have in my compact right now are for my spring makeup capsule, which I know I didn't do a YouTube video on it. I usually do YouTube videos on my seasonal capsules, but I just didn't get around to it. So it is on my blog though. So if you want to see all the colors that are in it, like my eyeshadows, head to my blog and go check them out. These blush lip shades are Summer Love and Desert Sunset. So I'm gonna go in with Desert Sunset, I think, because I just want a warm peachy blush right now. So with the blush lips, I usually just apply them with my finger and then I blend them with the brush. So we're gonna put that kind of in the center of my cheek and then going up, okay? And then the same brush, I told you, it's very versatile. I have not used, well, except for my little concealing brush. This is the only one I've used this whole time. Like, it's amazing. So I'm gonna take that end and we're gonna go ahead and just blend that blush out. And then for my lips, I can use that same one, but I am going to go in with Summer Love, just shake it up. So same thing, I just put it on with my finger. I feel like that's the easiest. All right, so now we have added in color and it just is looking way more finished. So the last step we have, really, is the brightening highlight. So it's that third one I've been talking about. So it's called Moonlit. Moonlit is such an amazing color for fair skin. If you have been struggling with foundations, like you're like, they all just look way too yellow, too dark, like I can't find one that just makes me look just natural, Moonlit might be your answer. For real. Well, let's do this. So I'm gonna go back to that smaller brush, the Smudge Brush. A lot of times with my brightening highlight, I do just use my finger, but we will use this brush. So same thing, we're just gonna tap it in. And with that, I am just going to put it in the inner corner of my eyes, the outer corner, and upper lip a little bit. I'm gonna gently brush it under my eye, but I'm not putting a ton under there. And then a little bit down the center of my nose is kind of where I like fake the contour without actually doing it. So really quick, if you feel like along your jaw, your highlight is looking too yellow, orange, warm, whatever, that's where that brightening highlight really comes in too, because you can put it along your jaw to help bridge that gap between your face and your neck. Like if you have a really pale neck, then you won't get that weird like foundation line. Okay, so this is the part that we have to go back and touch them up again just a little bit before we finish. So you can either do that with your finger or else go back in with this brush now that we have everything else set in there. And we're just gonna go lightly tap over them one more time. And for this, I am using my main highlight because I don't want there to be obvious dots of like yellow, you know. Okay, that is about as perfect as I'm going to get it. Sometimes if you mess with it too much, you just start making it worse and it just starts looking more cakey and thick, so we don't want that. So just cover it enough. Remember, like it's gonna be hard to get rid of texture, and if it's like more like scabby kind of acne, I get it, don't worry. It's just gonna be hard to perfectly cover it. But from a normal distance, the people are going to be seeing you and talking with you. This is really good coverage, and I think it looks good. So some extra steps you can do, because I would normally be done here, but you can put on a little bit of bronzer if you want. So this is that blush bronzer brush I was telling you about. So that side is really good for that light, fast coverage. And then this big, super fluffy, puffy side is good for bronzer. And putting it on your neck and like chest will also help with that if you feel like, you know, like, oh, like the color kind of looks good, but like my neck just still looks kind of white, so it looks a little bit weird. That also helps kind of bridge that gap. So I like doing that quite often. Okay, and then that is our finished look. So super easy, even though I did like a lot of coverage and, it seemed like I was doing a lot with like highlight and contour, but Seint really does make it so simple and streamlined. Like seriously, anybody can do it. Two more final steps. If you feel like you need to blend more, you can get the Perfector sponge and get it wet and then squeeze out the excess so it's just damp, and then just lightly press over to kind of like blur some more lines, pick up excess product. Since I've been doing it a while, I don't really need to do that anymore because I am pretty good at blending as I go and I just know how much product I need. So I'm not gonna do that, but if you need to do that, just go really lightly, especially over those areas that you covered up, and just make sure you're not like taking it off. But this last step I do. It's a stay setting spray, especially if I do have acne that I'm trying to cover up. I want it to last all day. And so this is from Seint. It's so good. It smells so good. It feels lightweight. It doesn't feel sticky. A little tip with this bottle, if you don't like spray it all the way down like a full spray, it can kind of just come in like big droplets. And it's kind of annoying. So you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like it didn't get anything here and it got like 2 huge droplets here. So I have learned the trick. If you push it just like all the way down like a good hard spray, it's gonna seem weird to do that, but then it like gets a good all over spray. So I usually do 2 sprays. Some people do like this like cross crazy thing, and then that's usually good. And then you just let it dry and you are good for the rest of the day. If you do need touch-ups, this is the other part I love about Seint and how just like small and like minimal it is. It's really easy to do touch-ups throughout the day. So if you work, especially right now, if you're having to wear a mask all day, it's really easy. Just take your compact with you. They have even smaller ones than this. You can literally just put like 2 of your highlights in, or like a highlight and a blush lip or something. So it's really easy. Just take your finger and just do quick little touch-ups, like on your break or in your car, kind of recover up some things, put a little more blush on, a little more lip on, boom. Okay, and that is it for our look and for this video. I hope that this detailed tutorial acne coverage intro to Seint Beauty was helpful to you. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. If you already have an artist, then reach out to them first, and I'm sure that they would be happy to help you. If you need an artist, like if you bought from corporate and you're like, hey, yeah, maybe I do want the awesome help of Holly, then just email me and we will get that figured out. If you are ready to jump in for the first time and start using Seint makeup, I have this awesome quiz down in my description that covers everything. It's a makeup routine quiz. So it will get you matched with your foundation, your contour, blush lip, eyeshadow, skincare, like everything. So again, if you don't already have an artist, go take that quiz and we'll get you started that way. Or if you are just ready to shop and you just know what you want, then it's also down there. I appreciate your support so much. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please do, and like this video and comment. And I don't know what else I need to ask of you. If you would like to subscribe and help support my channel, you can do it super easy right now by clicking on my face, or if you want to watch more videos, check out that one. And until next time.